Welcome back to the Charismatic Voice. Today's song was selected by our patrons as their Valentine's Day choice. It's about a breakup. It's actually about 3 breakups. Every member of the band was going through a breakup while the song was being given birth. I therefore surmise that Valentine's Day must be a great day to enjoy the results of breaking up. But more on that later. Let's get to it. Oh, I really dig the groove here. Hey, it's hard not to head bob. It's super groovy. We're going to keep going. It's funky. Whoa.
Listen to the wind blow, watch the sun rise. Run in the shadows, damn your love, damn your lies.
Whoa. Wow. Wow. Those are some good vocals. All 3 of them. There's 3 that are singing in harmony right now. I really, really like the way the harmonies are structured. But all 3 of them had a different character while blending at the same time. I'll say I know Fleetwood Mac just from Landslide. I know the song Landslide, and I don't think I've ever really listened to this song straight through. I think I might have heard it in a movie before. It sounds a little bit familiar. But, wow, those harmonies are great. I'm going to go back. I love the way that that super groovy rhythm at the beginning totally cut out to give us a signal, I think, that the vocals were near at hand.
Listen to the wind blow, watch the sun rise. Run in the shadows, damn your love, damn your lies.
There's some venom in that.
And if you don't love me now, you will never love me again. I can still hear you say we will never break the chain. You don't love me now, you will never love me again. I can still hear you say you would never break the chain.
What just happened? Holy crap. You can feel the tension of breakup in this. Okay, so we have Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham are the male and female lead vocalists here. And then I think you also have is Christine McVie is doing harmonies. And Christine and John McVie were married, I believe, when this was put together, but they were breaking up. And then Lindsey and Stevie were going through a breakup around this time. And then the drummer, Mike Fleetwood, also was in his own breakup. So those are your 3 breakups. And you can see the way that they're looking at each other, that this band they've made music about wanting to rip each other's throats out. That's whoa, what a thing to capture in a song. Okay, I'm gonna go back. Let's go back all the way to this beginning. There's so many interesting things vocally that I want to point out.
Running in the shadows, damn your love, damn your lies.
So I think one of the really interesting things about Stevie Nicks' voice is the lower quality and extremely unique quality to it. I've heard it in a couple things. Landslide is going to be the one that comes most forward to my mind. But she has an extremely quick vibrato and does slides off of notes. She plays with the pitch in a really cool way that I believe great singers intentionally really can sometimes latch into. It's a gorgeous thing. And I also love the way that it's like there's nasality in the tone. It's just, in other worlds, it might be considered an abrasive tone, but she makes it work so well. It stands out and you instantly know, oh yeah, that's Stevie.
Running in the shadows, damn your love, damn your lies. And if you don't love me now.
Oh, I think I missed it. I only went back like halfway through that verse and didn't know it. Sorry. Right when we start into this part, that's a part that I feel like I know. I've heard that somewhere, I think. But the way that he delivers was so much. Again, there's venom in that. It's pretty intense.
Your love, damn your lies.
His vibrato is similar to Stevie's, actually. I didn't know that.
And if you don't love me now, you will never love me again. I can still hear you say you will never break the chain. You don't love me now. You don't love me now. I can still hear you say you would never break the chain.
That it's so interesting. The vibrato here, she has fast vibrato in other places too, but this one's so fast in the way she's attacking it. It sounds like it's going into a bleating vibrato instead, where there's a little more, instead of laryngeal bobbing, vertical bobbing up and down, it's actually a re-attacking of the note that can be really quick, and it creates a different type of vibrato. Crazy how she's just making this sound and sliding down, and it sounds very very primal. Another thing that was really interesting was listening to the way that sometimes they'll hold the final pitch, or they'll like slide off of it, almost like they're too mad to care, but they really care a lot, but they're too mad to care at the end. It's a lot of emotional charge. I love this shot where you can see them looking at each other, just daggers in the eyes. Wow. This is a good video choice.
Damn your lies.
That's a perfect example. That's where Stevie slides off of the note. So there's a thing in their style that I'm guessing they've collectively developed together or decided on, where the final pitches sometimes will slide off of lower.
Damn your love, damn your lies. And if you don't love me now, you will.
And right there on now, that's a spot where he slid off of it.
And if you don't love me now, you will never love me again.
Wow, so much distortion.
Hear you say you will never break the chain. You don't love me now. You don't love me now. Well, I can still hear you say you would never break the chain.
Wow.
Listen
Ooh.
to the wind blow, down comes the night.
The harmonies are so good. They're so good. It's so interesting how Stevie and Lindsay's voices tend to hang out in the same pitch area. And then Christine's is higher in the harmony. This makes sense just because Stevie has a really, really low voice. That's part of where that characteristic sound is coming out, especially. I love the straight up pauses where everything drops. I feel a recharge of energy that happens in moments like that. And I also just love the groove. It feels so swampy somehow. Okay.
Listen to the wind blow, down comes the night. Run in the shadows, damn your love, damn your life.
So sometimes in harmonies, people want to feel like it's one voice in lots of layers. That can be a goal. And sometimes you want to have different characters in different pitches. So this definitely is the different characters realm. Choir tends to be lots of voices really trying to blend and almost lose an individuality and create this bigger whole. In operatic courses, on the flip side, we're looking for lots of individual characters on stage most of the time. And definitely in this case, they're bringing individual bits to it, not having the same cutoffs. I would encourage you to look at an a cappella group as a different example of they're going to be very precise about all cutting off at the same time, maybe featuring one member at a time and then bringing the others into backings. Very, very deliberate in this case to have a ton of individuality. And honestly, with all of the tension in this band right now, I don't know if it would work to have much unity.
Damn your love, damn your life. Break the silence, damn the dark, damn the light.
Whoa! It's just so tense as they're going through that. I've never really taken a moment to look into Lindsay's voice ever, and he's got a lot of pent up energy that he's letting out on stage right now for sure. But it's so interesting seeing how he's playing and using his full body to express the sound. I dig the extra bit of grit that we're getting on top as well. It sounds pretty heartbroken, right? It sounds pretty painful sometimes. Really, there's a lot of holler there. And I think that that's it's just very easily to relate to emotionally. And by the way, I told you I'd tell you a story about Valentine's Day. I will say, was it 5 or 6 years ago? 6 years ago, I think. 5 or 6. I was broken up with on Valentine's Day. I know. Oh my gosh. It's the worst possible thing to do. It just letting you know that happened. But then we got back together and got married and had a kid. So the results of breakups can be totally awesome. In some cases, they're really good songs. Oh. I feel like we're getting an insight into what their arguments were like, where he's just barking. Oh my gosh, it's mildly terrifying. And then we're getting lots of eye daggers in the other direction. Whoa. Man, I wonder, like, at what level in those tense conversations was it just yelling, and at what level was it pure silence? because both feel like they could be massively charged. Oh, it's so cool. I just think that that moment is so creative and interesting. It's unique, obviously using an extended vocal technique there. And the way she's committing to it it's impressive. I feel like that moment is pure artistry. Really cool. Wow. Huh. Ooh. I am totally digging the build and the feel of it overall. There's just sort of a rush that's happening through this instrumental section that's really awesome. And it comes back to me that when I was reading about the making of this song, of this album, this song in particular, I believe took 9 months to finish. And there was a ton of splicing of different sections. Apparently it was really hard to get it to all meld together. And I think knowing that, I can identify that this section feels like it was composed at a different time from the chorus, but it's still, they found a way to meld it together so it feels like it is all one incredible piece. Man, that must have taken a lot of work, thinking about all of the different things that can go into creating a song. 9 months for a band that was in this much emotional charge to figure out how to make that work. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Let's go back a little bit. He's so interesting when he plays. And the hat, too. There's like, somehow it feels like Louisiana to me, but at the same time, I'm getting so many hard rock vibes. And yeah, I'm curious actually what his background is. I'm going to have to read up a little bit more about him. Or you guys can tell me some about him in the live premiere chat if you're there with me. Like, look at the jiggles. Okay, I have to stop it. We have to go back. I am going to go back and let it roll through this section again, though, because I feel like this entire part is all about this build and this drive forward. It's I've listened to a lot of songs on YouTube and tried to decide at what points to stop them, and I'm definitely one of those people that stops more than lets play, because I believe in analyzing all of the moments and what makes those moments great. But the thing that makes this moment great is this overall huge arc. It's been an incredible build, and I think we hear a lot of that in the way that each moment is stitching to the next and demanding that it be greater, demanding that they level it up somehow and never drop the energy. It's like one huge sustain going upwards. Like if you think about something like a roller coaster, a lot of times you have to go down or gear up in some way to go forward and then woo, have fun. I think that a lot of times in music, you need to also have that sort of power up and release. So when you're able to power up, but keep powering up, powering up, powering up, powering up, and just keep building it like this, it's so very impressive. Let's go back a ways. Whoa. Yeah. I'm going to go back again a little bit more. That's a masterpiece of keeping that energy building and going and going. It feels like it. There's so many moments where I think it's so pent up. It's going to have to release, and it just keeps building and building and building. It's intense. I'm imagining that intensity has got to be partly due to the intensity in the relationships on stage and how much they need to just let it out. Whoa, this is so cool to get to hear. Like, that's so awesome. I love that Richardando too. Turns. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Whew. Wow. I feel so tickled that this is a song that the patrons chose for the season of love. The breakup energy is palpable, and it's amazing how they've turned that into an extraordinary song. And oh my gosh, this live performance, whoa, fiery. I loved it. If you want to see some more selections from our patrons, you can check out this video over here. And just remember that sometimes breakups lead to awesome things. May you fall more in love with music every day.